I'm a 10-year seasoned barber.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Barber J. We here doing at SBHD podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. I got a special guest with y'all with me here today. I want y'all to make sure y'all leave a like, a comment, and a subscription. And let's get into it. You know, we got a videographer, photographer, an editor, a barber, entrepreneur, a financial advisor, almost anything in the book, man. One-stop shop. You name it, he got it. Let me introduce y'all to my boy, Chief Barber.
What up? What up? My name is Rolando. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So for the first time I want to get into, honestly, you know, I know you have a lot of experience. You've been around here for a long time. You're like 57 years old. A lot of people know you. So just let, you know, like, I want you to start off with whatever you want to and try to give the audience some type of feedback on, or
a little background?
A little background on yourself, you know what I'm saying?
I'm a 10-year seasoned barber, educator. Everything you said has been stuff I've learned along the way as far as building my career. And yeah, I just enjoy just creating. That's kind of, yeah, I mean, I don't want to get to, I could go on and on, but that as simple as it is, I'm a creative person, and I enjoy the process, and I've made a good amount of money doing it, and now I enjoy helping others do the same things I've done.
Okay. Well, like, what's one of the first times, when can you remember the first time you actually put your creative mindset to use? Like, how old were you?
I think we all had a rapping stage, right? So I was a rapper for the longest. I want to say that was probably like the first one. I thought I was dope too. So Lil Wayne was. So I'm.
Wait. What was your rap name? What was your stage name?
So no, my stage name was Puff. I used to have a big fro, so it was just.
You had hair?
Yeah, I had hair. Not exposing me on the podcast. I still have hair.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. I just didn't know. You know, you never know until you ask.
No, yeah, I had long, beautiful, luscious curls. But that was my first step into it. I actually ended up building a little home studio with my cousin, and we recorded, pressed some little duplicate CDs, sold them, and that was kind of my introduction to the business side of creativity too. Because the goal's always been to be rich or to have more money than we had. I was able to just bend the two, because I feel like some people are strong at one. I mean, you're a strong businessman and have no creativity, or you're creative and have no business side. I think it's important to fuse the two and really combine that.
Facts.
After that, it was clothing. I did clothing from like.
Wait, you were like a fashion designer?
Not because I wasn't like sewing or nothing. Like, I did draw like heels and purses, which sounds a little different. But like, I enjoy just the process of drawing shapes. But it was mainly like screen printing designs. I would just draw stuff up, and then I had a little brand called Pure Genius Company, and it did well. But that actually was what introduced me to barbering, because right around the time that was going on, I had my daughter, and my kid's mom, thankfully at the time.
Well, how old are you?
18, 19.
You see that audience, you feel me? You just, no matter how old you are when you start, no matter what route you take, you feel me? You never know what's gonna lead you where you want to go.
Funny how the story of how I actually got into barbering was, I was going to an event, so I want to go get a cut, because I had hair, and the dude told me how much he was making at the time, and I want to say at that time he was telling me he made like $450, $600 a day, which is crazy because this is like 2010, 2009, around there.
$600 a day in 2010 as a barber.
Say it again.
$200, $600 a day.
That's what he said. Well, for sure he was capping. For sure he was capping.
I'm like, dude,
but it infused me enough to where I was like, oh wow. And he was like, bro, I only cut weekends and have the rest of the time to go to school. and it captured me. So I went to this event. It was terrible. I didn't sell one item. I brought my cousins with me, my brother with me. They thought I was the man, right? Because, you know what I mean? I oversell myself every time I go anywhere. And everyone's going to all the little tables. It's all these vendors. And we left home broke. I want to say I promised them food. I didn't even get them food.
You cold? You a cold piece, bro. You tell me you don't invite me somewhere and say you got me, and then I'm gonna go home hungry.
Yeah, bro, that's what it was. And mind you, I feel like the clothes was hot, right? But for that time, I feel like I was a little ahead. Just because everything I was doing did come into like a trendy thing a little later. But when I got home, my kid's mom was just telling me like, bro, you got to figure something out. Like this ain't working. Like we can't just keep depending on this to blow up one day. And barbering just kind of secured the bag, but still gave me the freedom to explore every creative option I could seek. And that's how I fell into barbering. And because I was doing the clothing line, I had the design aspect, I had the photography, and mind you, now looking back, it was trash, right? But it was enough to like make me know what would sell. And this is pre-social media being what it is now. To let me know what it took to really sell something, and that's what created this lane I'm in now as far as barbering.
So nowadays, you can basically see like where people are lacking in for marketing or production, or even just professionalism, basically. Which is that's good. That's why I keep telling people it's good to have somebody who's been around or seasoned or just experienced in general with other people in other industries, because they can navigate you and motivate you and support you to go ahead and chase that direction of what you want to do, what you want to complete.
What I love about the barber industry is we all come from a similar background where we're chasing freedom. So it's just made it a continuous. Every time I say something, I learn something from the next person, and it's just been that way. You got
to be open to talking and having those conversations and being real about it. Because a lot of people like to leave stuff out, but I feel like you said, similar backgrounds and all having that journey. It almost seems as if it's never ending, because until everybody can have that same result, you never know when the end is type. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make sure you do everything you can to push yourself forward. Because, like, I tell people all the time, nobody owes you anything. Like, no matter what you expect or what you've been doing for however long you've been doing it, nobody owes you anything.
Absolutely.
You feel me? So I feel like if you just understand you owe it to yourself, because you're in control and power of your own decisions and actions, you can go ahead and make that happen. You didn't have to convert to barbering. You could have stayed where you was at. You could have been like, nope, I don't want to do that. That's what I want to do. I don't care. You could have did that, you know what I'm saying? But you didn't, and then that opened the door for other opportunities, obviously. And then now you're in a category or conversation that a lot of people can be a part of. And I feel like that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. A lot of barbers don't understand. Like, you're in a conversation that you don't even put yourself in, because you don't understand what it really takes to get to there from here.
Absolutely. I had a speech by this old head when I first started cutting hair, right? And it changed my perspective as far as what this industry does. Because initially this was supposed to be just part time. I was gonna be the next big clothing dude, right? I swore, you know what was funny is I'm the most unfashionable person in the world, but I swore I was it though, right? But he told me, he said every barber has the opportunity to implant thoughts into people's heads. So he was like, what other career do you get 30 minutes where someone's just going to listen to what you say? And once he said that, it made me really aware, because it's vice versa. We get to have that same conversation with no interruptions. That everything I've learned to build the assets and build the teams and the networks has been because of the share. And it's also the reason I haven't left, because I feel like this is where it's the easiest place to build the network, because it's so consistent.
Facts. And then even then, financially, how would you say it is saving money, or at least learning where to put your money for now until you're ready to use it? Like, because I know we talk about this all the time, but a lot of people don't really understand a lot. Like, some people probably do, and they already doing that, but a lot of people don't understand, like how I didn't understand how do I set my money to the side and break it down to where I can put this away and use this over here and then have this just saving.
So I had a client in, I forgot what year, right? But early in my career, he broke it down to me through this book by, I forgot what the book's called, but it's by this dude named Dave Ramsey, right? So the breakdown was real easy, where it was 20, 30, 50, right? So he's like, bro, if you paying more than 50% of your income to live, you living above your means, right? Mm-hmm. And once I understood that, and he put it on me, like, it's easier to increase income than it is to decrease your lifestyle, and start just budgeting and budgeting. So it made, because I'm a barber and I could work as long as I want, it made me go that much harder to where I could live with 50%. That other 30% was instantly into savings. And because I was blessed with a partner at the time, and we're still friends, right? In case you're watching.
He's talking to you. You know who you are.
Yeah,
I don't. But he know who you are, though.
Hey, the nervousness in me, you're just sweating. I was blessed to have her as a teammate. We were both on the same page with both our incomes, and talking to different people. Once I seen what it took to buy a home, it was a go. And then once I seen everything that comes after that, it was just, it flows easy. But the hardest part was understanding how to divide that little 30% into the savings. As a barber, I always break down 3 things, right? We should have our minimum cost per hour, how much we should be making per hour, our minimum savings per year, yearly, monthly, or yearly minimum savings. And then we have our BS money. It's the money we could go throw away, we could ball out with. Once we could place all 3 of those and figure out those numbers, I need $45 an hour. So I'm either charging $45 for a cut, or I need to do 2 cuts depending on my price, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. And start breaking it down into a system like that. It comes. But the hardest part is just really sitting there and doing some math. And it takes you 2 to 20 to 30 minutes max.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we had the same conversation. I mean, I was already on that route, but you made it way easier to break down because I didn't realize how simple it was, because I didn't really understand how different my tax bracket is. Like, as a barber, if you're doing it right, your tax bracket is not the same. Like, everything is handled honestly differently, and honestly you can make more and save more just being in this certain tax bracket. I'm not gonna say the tax bracket because that's just your research to do, but if you're interested, you'll go ahead and seek it, and you'll find it. But I was going to also say, too, I noticed that I've asked a lot of people, and some people, I get different answers. But as far as buying a house, like, that's something I actually plan on doing real soon when the time is right. But how important is it for somebody that's in our industry to buy a house, and why is it important?
So to me personally, right, this is my belief system. Because people tell you otherwise, and at the end of the day, I am just a barber. I am seasoned in what I'm saying, and I've seen it work. But to each his own, we all take different routes. We don't have retirement funds. We don't have 401ks. We don't have any type of savings. So we see barbers going to their 40s, 50s, even 60s, still cutting hair. I feel like a house is the easiest way to make sure you got something in those next 20 years, right? Because and we could break it down into what you use a house for, right? We could rent it out, do this, do that. But just a single house, I mean, it's a nice little savings to have in those 30 years. I've seen it to where I'm cutting next to barbers at a certain age that have to cut. And that worries me, just coming from a hustler's point of view, because I'm not going to be in forever. I'm not always going to understand the trends. I'm not always going to be cool enough to speak to the younger generation. This is a young man sport too. So the people paying the bills is the youngsters. The old heads is losing their hair, not me. Other old heads is losing their hair.
I mean, so you are pushing 60 though. I was like, he getting kind of old, but he look young though. He take care of himself, a little bit of jogging. I'm just playing.
That's always been my big thing with when I tell a barber to get a home, is for that reason, because the sooner you get it, the sooner you could acquire more and really see where it puts you at.
Yeah.
But that first purchase is, once you understand it, it's the easiest process. Your first purchase is so much assistance for you, and all it takes is, depending on where you at, 10 to 30K. And then the way this big baller put me once, he said, once you get past the 15K in savings, it just accumulates. It's way easier. It becomes a game for you.
Facts.
But yeah, that I could go on and on about that, and I'll probably ramble the same
we
thing.
might have to have another day for that because that's some good information that y'all need to really take in. Because, like I said, the sooner the better. It's just like when you get life insurance. The sooner. The sooner the better. The time
I felt like a
accumulates.
commercial is going to come in right now.
I know. Now, guys, sponsorship entered right now. If you want life insurance, make sure you call this number right about now.
That's what
and
it felt like.
We'll probably get back to you on that.
The mix of like business and creativity is, I think, where once it clicks for someone, and like for you it's clicked, right? Mm-hmm. It's amazing, bro, because all the homies that are creative, I don't really see them touch bread, so they got to go work some dead end job, right? Shout out to the homies. But if you could put both of them together, and Barber really gives you that opportunity to mix both. I can sit there, make merch, make content, make everything, and still have a consistent flow of money behind that chair. And the more I do, the more my chair grows, if that makes
most definitely sense. I agree. And, you're right. I just told you what my motivation is. I know somebody who made everything they made off of just barbering. And I'm like, shit, if they can do it, so can I, So that's why I told you I thought about hopping into like I would say somewhat of a dead end job just to push myself forward financially. But then I realized if I just take that free time off time that I already have to add on to my business basically, then it will grow. It will grow. But you have to plant those seeds in order, and you have to water them. Don't just plant them. You got to water. You got to come back to it. You got to water the seed, so that way your plant will grow. And that's basically what a lot of people forget. They plant the seed and they walk away and don't look back at it. It's, I started it, but you didn't continue it or finish it. So that's why I think that what you're saying is very valuable as well. And even with the whole buying a house, real estate, you feel me? That opens the door. You can turn that, for people who don't like the shop scene, I always tell people you can turn the extra room, garage, into your own personal studio, photography, whatever the case is. It just opens the door because now you have something that you own or whatever. You can do whatever you want with it. And a lot of people don't understand that, and they're stuck in that I feel like that money cap where it's like you don't see outside of that. You don't see over the lid, so therefore you don't think that there's any other possibilities for yourself.
That's one of the biggest reasons I try to maintain a certain look and aesthetic and drive certain things right. Is I feel like it's easier to make it clear that everything's attainable when you can level out at a certain person's playing field. Mm-hmm. And I think it's why my reach has been so impactful, because a lot of people really think that's impossible to get. You know what I mean? Like, we don't even know the first steps when we're really starting. Like, if it wasn't for people putting me on, I wouldn't know how to save. I wouldn't know who to even call to get a home, right? Like, there's a loan officer, they're going to run this. The whole process is just completely scary. And then coming from certain backgrounds, our parents didn't do it, so we have no idea what to do, and it's the little cycle we keep going. But I feel like as the older heads, it's our job to really put the young ones on, because y'all are the ones that are going to carry us when we done with this.
I agree, but that's another thing I try to tell the younger generation of us. Like, it's up to us to make sure that we listen, because not everything is a hater or something like that. Like you said, you can't be mad at our parents for not putting us on game for certain things. That's why I say you owe it to yourself to learn, because it's the opportunity is always there to learn. And I feel like if you're not taking the opportunity, a lot of things that we're even talking about right now, you probably not even don't want to agree with or listen to. Like, even with certain business decisions, I feel like on Instagram, like the little verified thing, I think that people want the status. If they don't know what the status is standing for, it doesn't mean you're a celebrity. It doesn't mean anything. What the personal opinion is, it's what it's supposed to mean. It's supposed to be official recognition for who you are in your business, and that a lot of people don't look at it at the like Instagram for a business, or even Twitter. They look at it for their personal conversations and stuff like that. And that's like, people forgot that's just social media was to connect before. Now it's people push each other away, and they don't even. You can't do the iMessage no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all about social media, but then when you try to do things on social media, they try to bring you down for it.
So to tap into that, right? So I opened the shop 2015, and I had seen just one other barber really do it to a certain extreme. I wanted appointment only, right? So the old heads and like the people in that little group were like, bro, no one can live off just appointments. Every barber needs walk-ins. But I was like, nah, I'm set, right? I'm gonna do it. I did it. I didn't take an appointment from 2014 till this past, like right post COVID, like 2021, 2022. I built my whole career off just appointments, and not that I turned down walk-ins, but it was like, bro, I'm booked out. Here's my card. We'll set something up for tomorrow. Yada yada. I continuously growing, right? I feel like everyone hates up front until they see the growth, and then they hop on it. And that's why a lot of times when people start judging, like, oh, you doing this, you're doing that, bro, if you can't put me on, like, your opinion is really invalid. Like, unless you feeding me some knowledge and telling me why, I don't care to listen on a emotional opinion. And I stray away from anything emotional because of that. Because if I would have listened and like, nah, I guess you're right, I would still be in the same position they're in. And not to say they're in a bad or good position, but I wouldn't have experienced the level of growth at the pace I went at without that.
Facts.
Just belief.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. You got to make sure that if you don't take the advice, it has to make sense. It has to make sense if what they're telling you is going to help you get to where you're trying to get to. Now, they're telling you that where you want to get to is impossible, and they tell you to take another route. That's obviously what you don't want to do. But like I said, like for you, the proof is in the pudding. It's been there. It's seasoned. You just got to make sure you be paying attention to it because the answers are right there for you. But like the whole Instagram thing is like I said, the verification. Now you can just pay for it. You don't have to wait or go on there and request it and get denied, whatever the case is. Now you just go pay for it. I see a lot of people talking about people who want to pay for it. They just want the status. They don't really care about it. It's just like there are some people like that out there. By all means, you probably are just doing it just because of the status, and you're not doing nothing official with your time. Versus somebody like me. Like I said, I want my page to stand out. I want it to be more official. I want people to know you're not going to get my page from another, you're not going to see another version of my page. This is going to be me. And what I'm going to put out is going to be official, it's going to be professional. And this is where you're going to be able to reach me at. And you're going to know this is his page. Like in order to even do it, you have to make sure it's you. They have to make sure it's you.
I feel social media is a business. If you don't capitalize on the resources given to you, you're sleeping on yourself. And if you're doing it for status, I feel like that's your own little route. I mean, it works for some people. Like I've seen status take people to places they would never get to without it. And anyone shading that is just like, bro, mind your business.
Exactly.
That's how I take it. Like I try to mind my own at all times because of that. Because nothing is proven. That we're in a experimental era. And we're seeing different things change and work consistently.
Exactly. And that's why I'm like, people are saying they don't want to put money onto something or the opportunity on something because of what somebody else might think it is. I just find don't let nobody's opinion hold you back from what you think will get you forward. Because at the end of the day, like if you want that respect, you gotta go out there and go get it. You can't just ask for it or expect somebody else to give it to you just because they like you. Like, nah, you gotta make sure you put all that footwork behind whatever it is you're trying to do, just to make ends meet. And succeed at the end of the day. And do you think that plays a role with location or where you're at, like where you come from or the city you live in?
What do you mean as far as like the hate or?
Yeah, like when people don't want you to do things that they're not doing.
I feel like it's just a mindset. Like I feel like there's there's OGs who just have that old head mindset, and then there's the youngins who feed into that same mindset, trained by whoever's putting them on. And I feel like that's a lot of the hate we get is just from either or group. Either you was taught this or you were old head and you didn't get on, so now you're trying to really just talk down on something we don't understand. I keep young friends around me at all times because I feel like it keeps you in tune with what's changing.
It's like a learning experience
exactly.
every day.
Same thing with my kids. I listen to what they say, and I refuse to go into this. I'm right because I'm experienced. Nah, because there's no right or wrong way to grow. Like we've seen it. Yeah, I mean, if you would
You gotta
have,
be
someone
there.
told me this right. If you would have told someone in the '90s to go through a drive-through to get coffee, they'd be like, "Bro, I could just make this at home." But then you look at Starbucks, right? Starbucks is popping.
Yeah.
It worked, and you still get certain people that'll say, "I'm not dropping $6-7 for a coffee." They don't care. Like,
Yeah,
hey, there's
exactly.
still 40 people in line in the morning waiting for that coffee.
Exactly.
And I pay it no mind because it's just it's a mindset thing, and then it's certain people's nature. You just can't change it. I will never focus my energy into changing someone's nature or mindset. If they're stubborn and just want to stay in that lane, I'm always offer the opportunity to hear something out, but it's on them to really want it or not.
Yep, facts. Yep, that's self understanding. You know what I'm saying? If they don't want to have that self understanding, that would, and then they're not gonna understand it. You're not gonna be able to pull from it, retain it, and do all that good stuff. But I never asked you as well. Are you from the high desert?
No. So,
where did you reside in?
Born and raised in Pomona. I was in Ontario
Woots.
the last 10 years. And then back and forth from the desert from like 2010 to 2013, left, came back 2 years ago. A year ago.
You've been in Pomona since like you was born in like 1949, right? So you've been in Pomona since they were founded. Like that's crazy. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like I didn't know you could be in Pomona that long.
Nah, we built the city. We built the city.
That's crazy.
You know what's crazy is we look the same age.
If any of you agree with that, we're gonna have to have a serious conversation.
Our badge is the same size.
That's crazy.
Like you trying to close his eyes now.
I know. I gotta hide it. Hey, where my makeup at? Anybody got a little color?
Nah, but yeah, the thing with the desert, I feel like the desert is a small town, right? I didn't realize how small of a town it is till recently, until I started working up here. But it's also a gold mine. Like there's so many things lacking, but this is also one of the most affordable places for a whole generation to buy a home. They're buying up here and they're going to other cities to get the experiences they're used to. If people look at it like that, as far as the barber game, the beauty game in general, right? You're seeing everything pop up when it comes to the restaurants, the entertainment. All that is still not here. So
it's still under development.
But it's so many people moving up here. Like it's the opportunity to really capitalize. If not to say if you're first, but just to grab a share of that market. It's untapped completely.
Yeah.
The reason I left my clientele of 10 years to come up here is because I seen a gold mine of untapped potential. Like I've seen the hairstyles and what they're not doing when it comes to the barbering. I've seen the lack of marketing and content from barbers that I would be competing with. And it seems too easy for an outsider to come in and really make his mark. And not saying that people up here aren't doing it, but it's very few.
Yeah, they're not going that hard out here. It's very few, like you said.
And I feel like it's because it's a small town. Like people, it's hard to see outside of it. But this is a gold mine, man. Y'all are really sitting on endless opportunity up here, man.
I came out here when I was 12, and I used to say the same. I used to think, oh, it's just a dry desert, blah blah. It's like where I used to live. It's a little bit better for sure. But that was my first impression on the where we're at now. But like I said, as I got older and I started being part of the barbering business, I looked around all this open land. I looked at all the open opportunities, all the different barbers. I started cutting hair. It was like, oh, you want to be a barber? Oh, whatever. Now it's like, oh, everybody wants to be a barber now. I'm not mad about it. I'm glad because that's why I want to push the industry harder for a lot of people who are younger because they don't think that this would be a way out of a situation or financially. And this is like, honestly, one of the easiest ways out. Like in any situation I can think of right now, it's probably one of the easiest ways out. You just got to get in, get out. And I feel like with our school too, it's only what 5,000, and then it's like 300 or 500 down. You pay 50 a week. Versus doing, I know people who are 16, 20,000 in debt for going to barber college for 9 months.
I paid 18,000. I think I owe 19,000 on that because of the interest that built up.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the apprentice route is definitely like just such a easier route to go for a
Yeah, and you
full
can make
fledged
money, right?
education. Exactly.
Like in the barber calls, they say you go to school 5 days a week and you can't make money outside of that. And if you do, it's gonna be for like $2 to $10.
We was cutting at a barbershop in Barber College, right? The little owner of the school was, I'm not gonna say he was a hater. He was just by the book. So they heard me and my homegirl were cutting at this barbershop, and they came in, saw if we were there. I want to say she was there that day, and then the next day they called state board, and it was a hassle because like so this particular friend, and she's doing amazing by the way. At that time, she didn't have a car, didn't have income coming in, but still needed it. So was trying to make that by working at the shop after school, on the weekends, yada yada, and it was closed off completely because it was a big fine. So the apprenticeship changed that in that way.
Yeah,
The
facts.
only thing with the apprenticeship is you got to really select a good shop to be at because you're not going to learn outside of that environment.
Yep, I agree. That's why I love when Signature comes in as the best barbershop in the world. Um, in the world. I'm going to say it again, in the world. Because we got the apprenticeship program. Like I said, 18 months. It's affordable. There's no other school in the high desert you can go to, or even down the hill. Students from down the hill, students from other states, students who just moved out here, or that have been living out here, and they're now joining the school, and they realize, like, it's pretty easy. It's affordable. You're almost, we were opening more locations, so it's almost, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have a guaranteed job or at least opportunity to see if you're ready for it. That's another thing I want to tell people, too, that a lot of people don't know. Signature's opening 2 more shops in Victorville off 7th Street and another one off Hesperia Road in Bear Valley next month in May.
You're really good with these sponsorships throwing.
I just, because, you got to take every opportunity for what it is, man. Y'all ever seen that movie? Wow, what's it called? Coco. The dude said, "Seize your moment." You feel me? You gotta make sure people know what it is. So, I mean, he was a bad guy in the movie, but he made really good sense. Okay, seize your moment. Don't mess anybody over. Don't hurt anybody. Seize your moment. Let people know what you got going on, and attack those doors. That's all I mean. Don't be the bad guy. We don't want to be. We're not the bad guy. But make sure you guys keep your eyes open for that and be ready because we're gonna be coming out with some fire. And if you're trying to be seen over there, you want to work with us, make sure you tap in and you follow us and subscribe. Leave a like, leave a comment. We want to know who you are and what you got to bring to the table so we can make ends meet. But speaking of Victorville though, you seen our boy put on for the boxing match on Saturday.
Ryan.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Ryan. You put on the Drake show, did 7 rounds. He's still young.
So I respected him way more after the fight. I have a dislike for Ryan, just because the way he looks, bro. I don't know if that sounds wrong. It's just he got that face that you look at like I want to test it. Not saying I would. He is a boxer, but like if we were like at a party and I'm angry and I'm trying to fight someone, I would probably look for him. But he could fight. I'm not saying I want to fight him, but it's just his face is dislikable. After the fight, the way he handled that, though, my respect grew 1,000%. Like, he's a real humble, young kid. Like, he's just out here looking for the guidance. I don't think he has the right team around him. But yeah, that fight, I didn't watch the whole fight, right? I watched a little bit of it. The fight was solid, man. He
came out strong. I saw the whole fight. It was cool. I saw the whole fight. Another fun fact. I mean, I don't know if he wants people to know this. I don't think he cares either. But his brother, Sean, he used to go to. We went to high school together. He used to box in the locker rooms and stuff like that. Play basketball. They're pretty fun people to be around. They're really goofy too. But just to see their growth, or at least see from a personal standpoint, Sean, seeing how he started, I wasn't really around his brother like that, but I knew of him. Like I said, it's crazy to see people from where they started to where they are now, and just how they're able to live life and maneuver and opportunities they have. It's pretty cool, But shout out to them, you feel me? My boy Tank won,
Who are you going for?
You really are asking me that right now?
Yeah. Because it threw me off when you
I'm not
said
gonna
the
lie.
other name.
I ain't gonna lie. I was going for Ryan though. I ain't gonna lie.
That
I
threw
feel
me off
like
completely. It's not what I expected.
yeah, a lot nobody expect me to say that. I ain't gonna lie though. I've always like rooted for Tank. I'm not gonna lie, but this fight, especially because I'm out here, live out here. I gotta pay respect to the city as far as who I'm gonna go for. But just based on dynamics and size, I thought Ryan was gonna win, honestly. But I always kept in the back of my head, the only way I could see him losing is if he didn't protect himself. And Tank, he was critical. He made sure I saw exactly how he won too. Not just off the punch, but let's say the knockout didn't happen. He made sure that Ryan couldn't use his left hand. He couldn't use his left hook. He stayed tight. You feel me?
Where'd you watch the fight at?
I was at a coworker house. I was at my boy Sal house.
Y'all paid for it?
Sal did. I didn't pay for it. I didn't pay for nothing. I watched the fight for free. Yep, the pizza and all. Went to Buffalo Wild Wings after that. Shout out to Buffalo Wild Wings. Appreciate that.
When he came in and he was just kind of swinging away, that's when I kind of knew he was. Now I don't want to say. I guess the best word is eager. He was too eager up front.
Oh yeah, he was hungry.
Tank came in a little more strategic, and I feel like strategy will always outdo anything that comes to it. But yeah, that fight was solid though, man. Like I think that's the future of boxing.
Did you think it was under more than 7 rounds?
To be 100% honest with you, so I know enough sports to like talk about how we just talked about. I don't watch sports at all, bro. I just know a little bit to keep my man card. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, good fight.
Yeah, like we got a dude named Ant the same way, and his boy Will. They do the same thing, but they don't pay attention to sports. They just sit at home, watch popcorn and TV. That's all it is.
I usually just listen to what other people say and then reuse that with like the other group of men and just go back and forth.
Oh yeah.
But I don't watch. I haven't watched basketball since Kobe retired. I've never watched football in my life. I've never watched a single game of football. Never watched a single game of baseball.
You built like a football player, bro. That doesn't make any sense.
Thank you. Was that a compliment?
No, that was just description of how you feel like you look like a football player. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't touch football. I don't play football, but thank you.
I don't watch soccer unless it's the World Cup. And even then, I only watch the finals. I'm not a sports head like that. I try to fake it, like I said, to keep my man card, but it's not my thing. So if we keep going on the sports section, you're gonna hear all the little. That's something I mastered, I think, as a barber, how to just carry it on, like, oh hell yeah, and then I usually find someone else in the room that knows whatever they're talking about.
Oh,
and
yeah,
be like,
yeah.
Come
over here quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about this sport that I don't know about.
And then I just exit. My longtime clients who are now friends, right, know like when I would get quiet was usually just a sports conversation. Besides that, I could talk all day.
Hey, I just thought about this right now too. Obviously I know this, but you worked with us too. What's your experience?
Not even realizing just now.
Yeah, I'm like, this dude. I don't see a signature loader. I forgot I even knew this guy. I forgot I knew him already. But yeah, you worked with us, and you've been working with us for. I forgot when you honestly.
I think I'm at like 6 to 8 months right now. So,
really?
Yeah.
I thought I was like 5, bro. I didn't know why.
Well, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, like 7 months.
Okay. No, that's cool. We're almost May now, huh? Time is going by fast. But no, I was gonna say, what's your experience like working there, especially since you've been down the hill and the way you do your clientele? What's it been like? How do you like it? What would you rather do? Booth rent, commission? I love to ask
you
different.
Want the full answer?
I honestly do. I feel like that's what they need to hear because, like I said, you come from a different area, blah blah, and they need to know.
So this is a very different market, right? It's taken me like 6 months to really dial in and figure out this market. But I'll start from the top, right? Booth rent or commission. I think it depends on the barber, and I think it depends on the goals, right? If you trying to hustle and cut, booth rent's where it's at, right? And you gotta keep cutting to keep making that money. If you don't have a plan, it's a trap. You're about to just get stuck doing that, right?
Exactly.
I also believe not every barber is designed to hustle for themselves. Not everybody got that mentality to really make it by themselves. Like some of us need someone else's structure to succeed. As far as commission, if the shop is correct and coming correct and providing the right things, more than anything, providing the traffic, commission is perfect. And if you could balance the two and find somewhere where, not that you have those options, but you could get the freedom control that you desire at a commission price and not have to give that money up and really match or how to work those funds.
I like your answer too. I was gonna say, like you said, they need to rely on somebody else's business structure to make their money. I'm gonna get right here to make their money and everything. I feel like that's a really good point because like even with people working in restaurants, whatever industry, clothing stores, those are like if you didn't have to rely on somebody else's business structure, you just go make your own clothes,
Exactly.
just make your own food type thing. I feel like people don't understand. Barbering is just another field where most people you're not gonna rely on somebody else's business structure. But like you said, a lot of people don't have that dog. They don't have that. Not saying you don't, but that creative business mindset to where I'm gonna structure this, I'm gonna calculate my money, my schedule, my clients, and move accordingly to that. A lot of people don't have that type of structure, so therefore they have to rely on another business to do so for them.
My issue with commission, I have issues on both sides, right? My issue with commission is it designs a barber that doesn't bring anything to the table. Not 100% of the barbers, but let's say 50-50, to where it's like they just here to cut, which works for certain businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I like being around
the hustlers.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes at an all commission shop, you don't find that because they don't have no skin in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem with booth rent is you run into almost the same type of person, just now they're free. So now you're surrounded by lazy, unprofessional people who think that just because they pay booth rent, they could do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And what Signature has is they have a structure. He created a structure that blows my mind, right? So the reason I came here is based. So I was part-timing for a little bit, right? Doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came here when I seen like the big plan, right? And I seen how the breakdowns work, where there's incentives to work harder. There's this is the first shop I work at that has girls that seat the client, greet the client, clean the chairs, sweep the hair. I'm not doing nothing but cutting hair. It blew my mind just the way all that works into that commission, right? So if I'm really looking at it, I could make just as much depending on how much how much footwork I put in. But I think it's benefits to both. I think some people, like I have homies who are real artists and they're in this because they love the creativity and the freedom. I'm going to always tell them, go booth rent. And I feel like every barber should experience booth rent to understand the business. Because I also think
you got to.
A lot of barbers don't understand the cost of business, and you don't understand that till you're a booth rent barber. Like, I'm not going to come in for 2 weeks. You can't do that because you still got to pay booth rent. I don't have no clients this week. You still got to pay this.
And that discernment for sure. Well, let me get right here. It teaches them that discipline and that discernment.
Yeah, like I think it builds a certain type of person. And that's just me from watching this for years and years. It breaks you or makes you.
It's like, I was gonna say it's kind of like structure at home type shit. Like there's some people who have their kids do chores, some don't do no chores, but it's kind of like that. Like you put somebody through responsibilities and requirements, and then you'll see it'll make you or break you. It'll either make you hate doing that stuff, and then you'll have your kids not do it, or you'll wouldn't say fall in love with it, but you understand the importance of it because of what it will build you to be.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's what's same with barbering. Like the right commission shop is not gonna make you do it, but if you still continue to do it, you're gonna learn as you go. But it makes it easier because it don't take time away from the cutting versus a booth rent. Yeah, it does. You have the more freedom, but when you have more freedom, you have less responsibility or less discipline.
Someone said this to me years ago, right? What did it say? He said something like death in the wrong hands, or freedom in the wrong hands equals death. There you go. And I feel like that's absolutely true. Like,
That's
certain
deep.
peoples are gonna You know what's funny? I say someone told me a lot of this stuff. I just be thinking, but that's besides the
It'd be
point.
your other. It'd be your other self. Yeah.
It sound better when you say
This one dude from over here.
exactly. Like when you say I thought about it, people are like, you always got it. It feels more important. It's like the glasses drop when I say something. Look. It just creates a different scene.
How many personalities do you have? Which one am I speaking to right now? Is number 4?
So that's another thing that the I feel like the barbers coming in forget is you have to be able to turn on and off depending on who's in your chair.
Yep.
And that is like an art that everyone should master. I'm about to lie, but just let me lie. I'm gonna clarify my lie after. So my instructor in barber school gave me a book and I read it. Right, it was called How to Gain Friends and Influence People. Mm-hmm. And I went from like $100 weekend to a $600 weekend. And what the book basically talks about is how to be that person to different people to make sure you're getting the best out of the situation. I feel like it's key for anyone's success behind the chair. So the lie is I never actually read the book, but I read pieces of the book enough to understand it. But I feel like you're supposed to be able to turn off. Like I'm supposed to be me all day, but I'm supposed to be able to listen to everything and then, you know what I mean, know what
filter
tone
it,
and yeah,
filter
exactly,
it and know what to put back out type stuff.
Exactly. So yeah, it is like multiple personalities, and people who work next to me for a long time know how many different levels to it is. And I've worked with the last group I worked with. It's my boy Chris and Nate, right? I think we all mastered it to such a T. We could just read the room so well and know when it was time to like, all right, like we talking about this right now. All right, we're gonna talk about this, and just gravitate. And then we'd have that little IQs like,
no facts.
Hey, cut it. This ain't the dude for that.
Yep.
And it created a very fluid structure.
Too.
Yeah, exactly.
You had that experience to know when to shut the not right now, bro.
This ain't the person. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? This ain't the conversation that you want to have with. This like you want to. At the end of the day, the client is what you got to pay attention to as far as whether it's in your chair or the guy next to you or the one across the room. They got eyes on everybody, and like I said, you don't want to be having that negative type of conversation either. You know, around certain people, but just like even if it's positive, if it's about something. Like you said, there's things you don't talk about in the shop or the place of business because of X, Y, and Z. Like, you got to be 4 eyes and some more. You know what I'm saying? It's just like watching on the road. You got to make sure you seeing who looking at you and who isn't.
The art of conversation is so underrated. If you can master that, you'll make endless amounts of money in your life. Like, how to be fluid as a speaker. And not that you won't have pauses because it takes time to just adapt, right? But just be super like, okay, like this is our tone. This is how we're going to do. It's not only going to get you money, it's going to get you the right circle around you. And it's going to get people to actually care about what you're saying at a higher extent or higher level.
Definitely.
By learning that. And what that category is a speech. Is that what you would call it? The art of conversation, whatever. If you could figure that out, you'll be okay in this industry completely.
Well, what you say is it called a speech? You just say speech or just language that you can speak between a specific person. You know, like some people they have that language where it's just eye contact or it's just like telepathy. Like they just know what this person's talking about, or like hey, like. And it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's like that type of thing. Or you got to talk to them slow or, you know, whatever the case is. I feel like that experience right there is definitely something that you got to pick up quick. Even if it takes you a long time, just make sure you master that because that's going to help you with other people and be more versatile, more diverse, and just help you in the game in the long run. And that's what this is all about at the end of the day. It's just getting that longevity from somebody like my boy Chief right here, you feel me? And I just feel like anytime somebody like this guy has something to say, just listen. You know, like I said, just listen. Even if he's old, even if he might be ashy, his outfit might be trash, but just know, even if he's 57 years old, this is something that you actually might want to listen to because it could take you to the next level. You know,
And I want to say the majority of game I picked up was from the old heads, and they would speak to me differently because they knew everyone loves to talk about themselves, right?
Totally.
And when it comes to old men, they love teaching or talking about their experiences, right? Mm-hmm. When you learn to listen, they're gonna feed you so much game. It'll change your life forever. And mind you, I'm not at that age where people need to listen to me yet. I'm still young. But I do encourage everyone to really just hone in. Like, you could have a conversation with anyone and really pick something up. Another thing I learned from that's me lying again, right? This is just stuff I've taught myself. But I don't listen to people that aren't in a position where I don't want to be. So
yeah, you can't learn how to be a millionaire from a
exactly.
You know?
Like we can shoot ideas back, but like always look for the people that are what you want to be. Like when I started cutting hair, it was two barbers that I saw and then I mimicked them, right? So one of them Suave, one of the coldest barbers I've ever seen in my life, and then the other one's Napoleon. I studied them to a T, like everything they did, the way they ran their structure. What they had in common was they were both hustlers from morning to night, just all day. They worked like little machines. And I've never heard them complain. I'm big on that, right?
Yeah.
I never heard them complain about, oh, I'm tired, oh, I had a long day, or yada, yada. They were just robots. And I mimicked that. I mimicked the way they presented themselves in front of certain audiences. And then I've placed myself in circles to where now we can all share knowledge, and I've learned so much from both of them because I was open and able to listen and able to do that. I forgot how I started this whole sentence. But yeah, like place yourself in those situations. Make sure you find someone you respect enough to listen to. Like, okay, you have what I want. Mind you, it was nothing financially that initially got me. It was just the discipline and rawness. Like the first time I seen Napoleon, I came into his studio.
How old are you? 1974.
This was
82.
Hey, this was the early 30s. So I walk into the studio. He has a all Adidas tracksuit, right? Adidas everything. He's doing a cut. He's freehanding. He gives us a little and just quiet.
Yo, what's good?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he got that old player in him. Just, oh, what's up, man? Yeah. And he's freehanding this cut. And I know he's going, now being like seasoned, I know he's going harder because we're watching. Because I do the same thing now. If there's a young buck next to me, I'm like, yeah, I'll finesse it a little bit. You know what I mean? Do the little hand wave. I don't need to flick that hard, you know what I mean? But I'm going to flick it just to make the scene. And then right after that, there was rumors I heard of the amount of, I want to say the dude that day shot him 100 for the cut. This is like 2012, 2013. Which was just, cuts were still $12-15, right? So it was just like, wow. And then his whole shop was just a studio. Like, I'm coming from a creative background where I was enthused. Like, bro, y'all have a whole photo setup and video setup, and they were building an app and had these little videos popping up. I was completely soaked in. Like, all right, I want that.
That's crazy. That's a lot going on.
The first time I seen Suave, I pull up to an event, and mind you, I heard of Suave just like I heard of Napoleon over and over again. I go to an event, and it's the dopest thing I've seen, right? So they have him showcase. He's not even supposed to showcase, right? He does a haircut, and in the mind you, he has not barbers around him. He has all his clientele around him, and it threw me off because I've never seen clients be that close to their barbers till that point. And this is like 2014, and he's doing the haircut. He has his girl at the time. It was a female in there, right? Might be who he's married to now. Wiping his sweat, switching his hat so he stays cool. Then he lights this dude's head, bro. It was the flyest. The showmanship was.
Wait, so you think it's important who you keep around you, like female wise, like the significant other?
Absolutely, like
because I feel like a lot of people, you know, they don't go for a barber, or the barber holds on to something.
You know, I feel like as a barber, you have to have a teammate that's just supportive.
She over here wiping the sweat off his head, changing the hats. That's
and
crazy.
had 2 or 3 hats and just switch them on.
So we got a question for you guys.
Go ahead.
This comes from Chris Ave, and he's a new barber, and he wants to know how important it is, or if it's even important, if his social media name has Barber in it, and should he have a personal page and
You want to go for it?
I'll go ahead and answer this. I like
personal page
I got one. I got
away
one for this,
from
too.
his barber page?
this.
Can I? Or,
I'm gonna start.
All right,
I got
go
you. I got you. I actually like this question because this was a question I had back then before too. So I would say no, because either you don't have a page. I mean, you can have a personal account, but people want to see everything. They want to see not who you are outside of barbering and why, like who you do it for.
So they want to see the lifestyle.
They want to see somewhat of lifestyle. I wouldn't say don't be too like. If I'm making,
Don't be young on there doing young stuff.
don't be young on there doing. Don't be John Morant. Don't be John Morant. You know what I'm saying? Don't be the young guy who, you come from a humble place, deep within, but you're out here living this young lifestyle. They want to know you can play basketball, but they don't want to see you doing dumb stuff outside of that. That's what I'm saying. So when it comes to barbering, like, they want to see you cut. They want to see you how you live your life and what you can get out of cutting hair. But if you take that away and you're a robot on one page, you're just posting cut, or and then on the other side you have your family, blah blah, like, and you have it closed off. It's like, okay, this is it's not my mindset. It's the other person. They could be like, oh, what is he hiding, or why is he so private? Even if you just don't want to buy in your business, I get it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to buy in your business, then just have a barber page. Don't even have a personal one. Just that means anybody don't see it anyway, like, or just have a Facebook. Just have a Facebook, like Facebook. Like, you don't need to have 2. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So that's my answer to that. Is if I were you, I would make it 1, and tolerate, what you want. You have 80% cutting, 20% lifestyle, family type stuff, or 50-50 if you want to. But I think you don't want to have it to where you're 90% lifestyle and then you're 10% business, because I see that too. You want to have both on there, and I see that some people they'll have a personal account and they'll have a barber or a business account, and it'll be private. Like, the personal account will be public and the business account is private. And I tell people, you won't grow openly with that type of closed access to your account, because they're gonna see who you are at the end of the day. So that's my answer for that.
So as far as having Barber in your name, I feel like if you can find a dope enough branding without Barber, go for it, because it opens the doors to really be a brand outside of just Barber. And then same thing he was saying, don't separate the two. Your stories are for your lifestyle. You selling lifestyle pictures, not pictures, but videos on there, and use your feed for anything you want to share. People tend to overshare, so they want to separate the two. You want to balance that. As a barber, you are the business, you are the brand. You should have both of those together.
Exactly.
Finesse them cuts.
Finesse them cuts. Is that
Finesse them cuts is his Instagram handle.
Oh, okay.
Finesse them cuts.
Yeah, finesse them cuts.
Finesse them
the
cuts.
Instagram handle.
The
All right.
is different out there.
I mean, I'm younger, but I had to really grasp onto that. Okay, finesse them cuts.
I just got out of barber school. I'm in a shop that I don't feel like represents the style of cuts that I want to do, and I don't feel like I'm growing.
Go ahead, you take it.
What do you guys suggest?
Best advice I ever got was you should never settle into a shop you don't fit into, and you should go, when you first start, you should go to 2 to 3 shops and see what your vibe is. Just because you don't fit the cuts doesn't mean that's not where you want to be, but you should love where you're at. Like, if it's not the vibe you're going for, leave now, because you're not about to put no type of work in for yourself.
Yeah, it's just like, make sure you go, look at a few houses before you go buy one. It's gonna be your home. It's gonna be your second home. It's the same thing. I feel like when you're looking for shops, I tell my students this all the time. Don't just go to anything. The shop might be booth on commission. They might charge you this and that. They might do different haircuts. They might not like the style of cut you like. So you got to make sure that you're paying, like I said, pay attention to everything: the ownership, professionalism, traffic, style of cutting, theme, you know, because you don't want to be in a traditional old school barbershop and you're out here putting out drop fades and enhancements and stuff. Like you don't want to be, you don't want,
gotta sink in.
you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be, you don't want to sell yourself short because then that means that in that shop you're not going to get that type of clientele. But also too, like they said, when you're passing out cars, people, or you're looking for shops in the same aspect, look for a shop you know you're going to fit into that fits your cravings, your hunger that you actually want to achieve. I think that's what a lot of people don't look for. They just see a shop, and then that status of being a barber in the shop is what people go for more than actually knowing if they're even ready to be in one. I feel like if you can't find one, or if you're not ready, then keep growing at home or wherever else you can. That's allowing you to do so. You feel me? Because you're gonna be there. You're gonna be either feeling like you just wasted your time, you waste your money, and you're not growing. You're just holding yourself back at that point. So that would be my answer for that too, honestly.
I got one more. My man Yeezy, the Barbershop 18 says, how do you tell a client the cut they're showing you isn't for them?
Oh, that's
You gotta
pretty
be as direct as possible. You
Yeah.
learn bluntness as you become
I
seasoned.
Well, yeah, that too. You learn bluntness, but I wouldn't even say it's
Right.
bluntness.
Tell
It's
me. Show me.
so it's easy. So if this guy Chief comes in here and he's like, "Hey, I want to get that Rick Ross beard, right? I want a Rick Ross beard, and I want you to I want you to
Keep it full.
Yeah, keep it as full as possible.
No enhancements.
No enhancements. Yeah, like on some real old school. I don't want no enhancements. I want it to be as full as possible, and I want you to do the head shave, right? Okay, cool. Now, this is the thing I'm gonna tell you. So first, we can do the head shave, but I'm gonna tell you already off the rip. Your beard is not gonna be as full. I'm gonna show you how it's gonna look natural, but it's not gonna be full how you want it to be in certain areas, just because of the growth pattern. You feel me? And then I can tell you that and show you that, and then pull up something that you're probably talking about. Like this is what you're looking at, but this is what we got. So I feel like also when you're experiencing season, you have to know haircuts themselves without it being on the person. Like I already know what that looks like. I know what a boosie fade is. You say, hey, I want a boosie fade. You're not getting a boosie fade. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like that's not gonna happen. Like you're gonna have to go ahead and take care. Get the Rock. You know, get the Floyd.
Again, I have hair for the record.
I'm just saying. Okay, all right. Let's say he wants the Kanye design, or he had a design all over his head. No, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work for you. Even if your hair is capable of doing it, I'll take it out if it's you. You know,
I
well, that's like
agree.
me saying, hey, I want a gentleman's cut. You're gonna be like, how?
You
know what I'm saying?
asking to keep your hairline as natural as possible.
You know, it's
I get it,
crazy.
I get it, I
You
get
know, that's
it.
a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that. That was good. But exactly, you need to know exactly when you tell your barber or your client when their beard is not growing anymore, like dead grass. You gotta water it. Restart. You know, you gotta. You know, I'll tell them like, yo, we're gonna have to use enhancements whether you like it or not. Like,
Exactly.
if you don't like it, you know, then I won't do it. But just know that your clients don't have expectations for your work, whether it's what they know their hair can do or what they think their hair can do.
I feel
So
like
it's up to you to not sell them something that they can't even get.
A lot of barbers fail to educate the client, and that's your chance to really educate them on what works, what doesn't work, what'll look better, what are the options.
Yeah.
That's our chance to not just be like, all right, you want it? All right, boom. Then they hate it. Then we get that complaint. But we do have a chance every time that happens to educate a client. Like, this is kind of what it's going to look like. I think it looks dumb. But if you still want it, we can. You know what I mean? Like,
And
that's what
I
I would
learned
say.
the hard way. You're right. I learned the hard way. So this girl came in with her little brother, and it was a straight hair, and she was just like just a little bit off the sides and around it, and line up the sides a little bit off the back, you know. And I did exactly that, and then we brought him back, and the mom was like, "This isn't what I wanted," and I'm like, "This is exactly what you wanted." I did exactly what you said. Do a little bit off the top, a little bit off the sides, not too much, square the back, blah blah. And that's when I realized, and I had talked to my boss, and he was like, "You have to know what they mean. Even like, don't give them exactly what they say because they don't even know what they're really saying."
Exactly.
So you have to know. Like people say, "Give me a 10 fade," or just tap the sides real quick, you know. And it's like people say fade the sides, right? They don't mean fade all the way around. They mean the sides in the back, the taper.
I had a dude ask me for a 2 all around. I just did a 2 all around, right? The whole head. He meant 2 on the sides. He had long hair on top. But mind you,
that took a really bad turn.
Stopped me when he felt the clipper on top. He waited till the end. And
Yeah.
said, oh, it's not what I asked.
Yeah, a lot of people are not going to be stand-up guys and tell you to your face or tell you like that's not what I want. It's very rare when you have a client who's like, no, you're doing it wrong, or no, that's not what I said, or no, that's not what I meant. They're going to assume you are on the same page as them with this whole dialogue language that you guys are speaking. If I tell him, yeah, I just want a little bit off the back. If I told him that, he ain't gonna know what I mean. I got dreads. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean you want a little bit off the back? You know? Tape, then as a barber, you're gonna ask those questions. You want a taper, you want a fade, whatever the case may be. So to that person, Yeezy, forgot the rest of the name.
18 something.
Yeah, Yeezy the Barber 18. Yeah, he said that question, and I feel like that's the best answer. So thank you.
My bad, Mr. Easy.
Yeah, my bad. It's okay. It's all right. We heard you, though. We heard you.
I feel like I gotta deepen my voice right now.
Yeah, you starting to sound like this and stuff, so, you know, you gotta stand straight and put the diaphragm in there, sir. There you go. Say with your chest.
Was there more questions? Or?
Yeah, did you have any more questions? No? That's it? That's the last one? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Well, thank you. If y'all have any other questions or subscriptions that y'all want us to look into, any pages y'all want us to look at.
Quick, what do you mean by subscription?
Oh, there's other pages that's probably out there like us. I mean, there's nothing out there like us. But if you guys feel like there's some information y'all want us to look into,
I gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Send us the subscriptions. Send us the pages and the comments. Share, like, all that good stuff. Because we want to know your feedback as well and what you think y'all want to hear or see from us. And if you think you want younger special guests to meet the age requirements to be on camera and don't fall asleep, then you know, make sure you tag them as well, because I don't know. I just want you snoring a couple times when I was talking. Maybe I talked too much. I don't know.
So I've always wanted the chance. Can I get the chance to say the like, share, subscribe?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to show it to my kids because we be saying this around the house when we finish the statement.
Yeah, go ahead.
So like, share, subscribe, SBHD.
Yep.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, you got a lot of hand gestures.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Hey, you over there. Like, share.
So when I used to watch commercials, it used to be all in the...
Give me a high five.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, like, share, subscribe. Welcome. Or, no, goodbye.
He said welcome at the end.
But,
oh, my gosh.
But thank you for having me on the show.
No problem.
I hope we touched some time. I think we could definitely talk about a lot more.
Yeah.
But we did cover a good amount of things.
Information, topics, all that good stuff.
And, yeah, if y'all need more info, just...
Yes, sir.
Reach out to
them. All right. What he said, exactly. But thank you again. This is SBHD Podcast here in the High Desert. Sitting here with Chief Barber, my boy. It's Barber J. And make sure you guys go ahead and follow and subscribe to SB Academy, SB Pro Barber, and People's Media Pro. Thank you.